beautiful sunrises and beautiful sunsets.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
I'm pretty fond of those two things. When we lived in Fresno, California had the most beautiful sunsets, and I would always get excited about it. And my son would go, "Come on, Mom, it's just another sunset."
And it really is, right? Like depending on what the clouds are doing, it changes every time.
Totally and completely.
Very nice.
Thank you. I'm trying to get on my computer and off my phone. I'm sorry.
Oops.
It's not me.
What do they always say? That's opportunity calling. Answer the phone.
Absolutely.
That's
I used to have
$5 for having it go off during a meeting. Put it in the kitty.
Yes,
Or somebody that can't get into the meeting.
Yeah.
That's
right.
true.
Hey, I just got off the Rocky Mountain advanced training, and wow.
That was
I've
great
never-
training. Great
Yeah.
training.
Eddie Peters really knocked it out the park.
Yeah, I ended up on another thing. I hope they record it because I was
They did.
registered.
They
They
did.
did. Okay, great.
Somebody is on speaker. If you can pull that off so it don't echo, that'd be good. And we are on.
Robert, I took my phone off. I was trying to get on the computer. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You good. You good. You good. I'm trying to make sure we was up here on
How come I-
YouTube Live as well. So. Mhm. Hey, Tillis, I believe I made you a co-host.
There.
Okay. Should I go ahead and
Okay.
share the slides? Bring up the slides?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I
introduce
was
you and everything first. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Tillis,
Robert,
yeah.
I'm
Okay,
here.
Tillis, I think I made you a co-host. I don't see
Yes,
you though.
sir. I'm here. You don't see
I
me?
hear you, but I don't see you.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you
Ah,
go.
there you are. Hi.
I see you.
Beautiful.
All blinging over there.
Yeah, you're blinging. I love it.
I just did another Zoom, guys. So,
Nice.
so
I know our new Zoom world, right? We are zooming all around the world.
we are indeed. Oh,
All right. I'm trying to make sure I'm up in all these live places too.
okay.
All right, so do this introduction here in a second. Want to make sure we got everybody plugged in. So just you guys should have gotten the email about an hour ago, maybe 45 minutes ago. Oh, hold on, let me maybe if y'all can see me, that will help, right? Yeah, so about 45 minutes ago, you guys got an email with some different links in there. Make sure you get registered for the Ray Higdon interview. It's not until June 16th.
Oh, I
but
thought you
make sure
had it already.
Huh?
I thought you had it already and I
The
missed.
Ray, the Ray Higdon interview?
Yeah.
No, I just did the Andrea Waltz one. I didn't do the Andrea Waltz is
Wonderful.
May 5th. The Ray Higdon is June 16th.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, June 16th. So we'll be doing that interview here live. So make sure you guys get plugged in to that. When you click on that, you'll see everything on there. You'll see the Ray Higdon interview. You guys will see the registration for the new class starting June 1st, and all the dates for that. All that stuff will be in there in the email when you guys open it up, if you haven't opened it up already. So appreciate you guys for being on. Super excited about your training today. Had a good talk with Kelly earlier, so I'm all excited about all her information. Most of you guys know who Kelly Rowe is, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick introduction on Kelly Rowe. Kelly Rowe has been with Legal Shield for over 2 decades, and it's like if you guys have never seen her train, like she's got like the most fantastic personality. So you got to go to her training because she's funny, she's genuine, and she really does do the business. And everybody that comes on and trains guys on these next few weeks while we're doing this challenge, I've got something about them that has resonated to me that they don't know. So like some of the things I said about Alistair last week, he didn't know because I don't necessarily tell that trainer that. or that speaker that. So Kelly Rowe, what inspired me with Kelly Rowe a long time ago, and I used to talk about Kelly all the time to other people. Kelly Rowe was one of the very first associates that I ever found that was writing herself to executive director every month. Group. And
Wow.
it was like, she wasn't like doing this whole big team thing and getting there. She was getting up and writing herself there every month. So it was like just going out there. And I'm talking about guys back when it was 75 counters.
75,
Yeah, I'm talking about
Yeah.
when it was 75 counters to get yourself to executive director and getting up every day and writing it and having that much business in the pipeline, right? So when we talk about building a business and building a business through making the phone calls and building the pipeline, you've got to have a lot of prospects in the pipeline in order to be able to get 75 counters a month on your own. Now, I'm sure she had help from some of the people on her team sometimes, but for the most part, Kelly Rowe was writing it herself and she enjoyed doing it, right? So when you're talking about business solutions, writing B2B, picking up the phone, dialing, she's mastered it. She's been a group trainer for, I don't know how many years in South Florida, Central Florida, training that area for probably as long as I've been in the business. She's been training on the group side. Not only that, for those that don't know, but that are friends with Melissa Wilder, follow Melissa Wilder. You guys may not know that they are both background in the Air Force. So Kelly Rowe is a vet. She's got a background in the Air Force, so she served in our military. So she went from serving our country to serving employees all over the United States. So she just been a big inspiration. And not only does she run crazy with Legal Shield, right? She's at every event. She's always writing business. She's always on top of her game with Legal Shield, but she also has another company called The Transitioning Warrior, where she works with vets and things of that nature. So we're talking about a person that's like all inspiring. If you guys know anything about her child, she's a fantastic mother, right? If you've ever met her son, like Kelly Rowe is like top notch. So I know that there's some people here that don't know who she is because you either don't do business solutions or you just right. You may be brand new or you may have been living under a rock. I don't know what the situation is, but Kelly Rowe is like one of the most fantastic trainers that you will hear from. And you guys gonna get a chance tonight to really hear from her. And like no rules, no boundaries, no guidelines. Like she's doing her thing. Like this is not, hey, I want you to train on this. This is Kelly doing what Kelly does. So I know you guys are going to enjoy it, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Miss Kelly Rowe.
Oh, Robert. Oh my goodness. Right. It's not good getting all emotional before you got to train, right? But thank you so much. And like Jimmy, thank you for what you wrote. Jimmy and I have gone way back. I know I'm on the first couple times he took the training, right? I have been a trainer, blessed to be a trainer since 2005. And just love doing that. And Robert, that's where you and I connected. And I love that, saying what inspired you about someone. You and I were talking today. And one thing that we said was, there's just certain people that you meet and you just have that soul connection, that heart to heart connection. It just vibes. It's easy. And you just know that you just rely on that person, even though we're not on the same team. I mean, Robert would call me about questions and this and that, and then I'd call him, right? I've been bugging him like crazy about some CDL stuff. And so you give and you get, right? And just be, like you said, just being genuine. My philosophy was just being here for the long haul, and doing this business with integrity and never cutting corners, never doing something in the short run that was going to affect being here. And like you said, being here 23 years, which I still can't believe it. It's just crazy, but I want to share my screen. Oh, not yet. It says not yet. You might have to say that I can share. It says host says we can't share. But as Robert said, so my background, I actually went in the Air Force at 17, right out of high school, because I just, I grew up with a single mom, and it was one of those things that if I didn't, if I didn't get a scholarship, I wasn't going to go to college. And all of a sudden the recruiter came to my high school. I love to travel. And he just got my attention on that. And it just seemed like a good solution. Everybody was shocked about it, right? Well, I was there and then I left. Did I accidentally close that window? What did I do? Oh my goodness. I must have hit the wrong thing. So you don't have to be smart to do this business, right? We always say you don't have to be smart to do this. But I definitely want to share the PowerPoint. It's just a couple slides, but I think that it's definitely, let's see exactly where I saved it. There it is.
And Kelly, what's the name of the book, The Four Agreements, and the author?
Yeah, so the book is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I can tell you that something incredible happened. Gosh, it must have been about over 20 years ago. You know, I always think, right, pre-legal shield or post-legal shield, right? We all feel like that. But I had a chance. He came and spoke at the Center for Spiritual Living in Fort Lauderdale. And I had a chance to hear him speak. And, you know, he's from that Toltec, that Indian kind of descent, very soft-spoken, and just incredible to be in the presence. I mean, the place was packed. People were you know, just falling out of the place. And he just was so soft spoken. You were almost like, you know, leaning in to listen to him, and just his presence was incredible. So here we go. I think it's here. I don't know if you guys can see. Did I still say share? Or do I have to go back and say share? But yeah, I'm going to have a picture of the book here because I wanted everybody to be able to see it. And the reason I've chosen this, and I told Robert that it was even before I was a group trainer, and I was a guest speaker at one of the Super Saturdays. And I had just really embraced this book again. I know many of us, when we have a good book that really resonates with us, we read it more than one time. And I had read this book again, and I realized that I wanted to train on it. And I realized that although this is a book for our personal life, or just every part of our life, I thought, wow, this really resonates with business, with selling, with Legal Shield. And I don't know, you know, if it raise your hand, you know, those of you that have read the book before, it's a small book. It's definitely worth grabbing. You could probably read it in an afternoon. I've given it to so many people as a gift. Because I just knew that, you know, there's so many, obviously we know personal development books, and there's so many, you know, there's so many philosophies out there, but they all pretty much drill down to a lot of the basic philosophies, right? And I'm going to go ahead and just, yeah, make that smaller so I can see it. But this is how they talk about this book, right? A code of conduct based on ancient Toltec wisdom that advocates freedom from self-limiting beliefs that may cause suffering and limitation in a person's life. Right? Because no matter what sales training we do, if we don't get to the root of our self-limiting beliefs, we are never going to hit the goals that we want. You know, and it is our beliefs that are going to allow us to keep going for no, right? Till we get to the yeses. And it just was so powerful for me because we can really keep it this simple. And sometimes when it's the more simple that it is, right, it's right there in the front of our minds, and we can use it on a daily basis. I mean, I know I use this in all my relationships, you know, business and personal, you know, very similar to, we talk a lot about the book, you know, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And to me, there was a lot of things about the Four Agreements that can really help us. I know somebody's coming in, so I just brought him in. But here are the Four Agreements, right? Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. Sounds kind of simple, right? But let's break them down a little bit. So the first one, being impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity, always. Say only what you mean. If you mean yes, say yes. If you mean no, say no. Avoid using the word to speak against ourselves, right? The main purpose that he says about this book is to help us live a life with less self-judgment. And that self-talk, that negative self-talk that I know we all experience all the time, every day, right? But we get a lot better at it with, you know, with all this personal development, you know, not using the word for gossiping about others, and using the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Well, let's think about that in our business life, right? We know in sales we have a product. We have a product to sell. There are benefits and features of that product. And the most important thing we can do for ourselves and for that prospect or that person that we're talking to is to not oversell, not undersell. Just recently, I had the experience where a CFO of one of my big companies had an issue. And I had to go to corporate with a question. And I really wanted to give her the answer that she wanted to hear, because she's the CFO of this really big company that's been one of my accounts for 18 years. But guess what? I couldn't give her the answer that I wanted. I couldn't give her the best answer. And so just saying to myself, gosh, she is this big person in the company, but I have to speak with integrity. I have to say exactly what it is, give her the solution that we, came up with. It wasn't the one that I wanted, and it wasn't bad, right? Nothing in Legal Shield or with ID Shield or anything is a bad solution, but it just wasn't the best one, let's say, and I wish that I could have said something differently, but if I did, that was just going to catch us down the road, right? Speaking truth. We've all been there. There's going to be the little white lies as we say them to ourselves, to our loved ones. In business, we don't think there's going to be any repercussions, but what does it do? It adds so much extra stress because we're worried about it constantly. And again, we've all been in that place where someone has maybe not told us what we wanted to hear. But if we really think about it, and I, am a believer in that, our spirits, our soul, that we are, that we really are spirits having a human experience, right? And so when we know that, it might not have been what we wanted to hear, but once we sit with it and the reaction is over, we realize that it was really for the best. And in every relationship that we have, and especially in our business world and in the sales world, it's just going to keep us from a lot of downfalls later, and even though we might not say exactly, maybe there's an issue that they're experiencing, when we're talking about our legal plan, and maybe we're going to have to say that it's going to the 25% discount, and we're just not happy about that, but we've got to represent and be impeccable with our word. And then number 2, oh my gosh, come on. Is he kidding with this? Don't take anything personally. Come on, how can we not, right? Obviously, what people say and do is personal. But guess what? Look at this first line. If we could only remember this. Nothing others do is because of you. Nothing others do is because of us. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. Right? When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Right? What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. Oh my gosh, is this not completely in line with go for no? Because when they say no, we do take that personally, but they're not saying no to us. They're saying no because whatever we're presenting to them and in their own reality at that moment, because of, again, what they're going through, their own beliefs, their own experiences, where they are in their life, personally and business, in that exact moment is what might lead to that no. And it has nothing to do with us. Yes, we want to do our best, and that's coming up, right? It is the 4th agreement. And we want to be prepared and we want to be professional. But when we know that we're putting our best foot forward, and again, guys, this is a work in progress. This is something that we have to work on every day, every moment of every day. But just remember that they are in their own reality, right? What was that song? I'm living in my own private Idaho, right? We all are who we are based on, right, from DNA to our life experiences, how we grew up. And then when we take that into the business world, we take ourselves into the business world. So, again, as we're running out there and we're building this business and we're building any business, just know that other person that we're talking to, they haven't been in our shoes. They don't understand everything that we understand. So they are making this decision to say yes, no, or maybe, or no, not right now, which we know that 99.9% of the no's that we ever get is really just a no, not right now. Right. So as much as possible, if we can just not take it personally, when I think about the not taking it personally, and we're going to jump into the don't make assumptions, I really think of the concept that I've learned in some other sales, which it says probe, right? The word probe, P-R-O-B-E, probe for clarification. If we hear something that sounds personal, it's okay to say, hey, I'm not sure if you realize that what you're saying, I'm reacting to it this way. So am I hearing you correctly? Right? Or are they hearing us correctly? So jumping into don't make assumptions. This one is huge. Look what he says. With this one agreement, we can completely transform our lives. Of not making assumptions. Oh my goodness. I think about this in my personal life, right? With dealing with our children, with our significant others. This is the best, right? Find the courage to ask the questions and to express what we really want. Communicate with others as clearly as we can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, drama. And like he says, with this one agreement, we can completely transform ourselves. So a lot about assumptions is just questions, and I did another training recently, and we said, what? Selling is asking, not telling. We can't make assumptions about the person that we're talking to, their life experiences, how much they know about our product, how much they know about our industry, our company. Again, just who they are. We need to ask the questions. And again, that goes into when somebody says no, no, I don't think this is good. Let's just stick to the business solution space. I know that there's a lot of associates and non-associates on the call, but let's just say when I'm talking to that owner of a company or a human resource person, when they say no, I've kind of learned to say, well, if you don't mind me asking, is it no because you don't see the value in our plans? Or is it no because you just feel like the timing isn't right for your company or your team or your employees? Probe for clarification. And oh my gosh, when I do that, right, having the courage to do that, they will open up about what the true issue is, what the true objection is. Right? That in most cases is completely different than what we think. How many of us haven't gotten a call back from somebody for a while, right? We're following up. We don't get a call back. Oh my gosh, our little voice, right? The monkey chatter, whatever you want to call it inside our mind, right? Just goes crazy. We are making up stories and we have a whole, we just know that it's because of us. It's because of this, that. How many of us have finally reached that person and they go, oh my gosh, they were going through some personal issue. The company was going through something, personally too, on the recruiting side, we don't hear back. And then all of a sudden they reach back out. Right. And we made assumptions that it was something about us, something about our opportunity, something about what we were offering. Again, we took it personal. Right. And the bottom line was, it wasn't that at all. It was something completely different. And they were apologizing and they were thanking us for staying in touch and, and still reaching out. So just remember, we absolutely have to ask the questions. We have to have the courage to ask the questions. And we know definitely when it comes to just making a sale or recruiting someone, I mean, what are the important things? There's a million things I can tell you about Legal Shield. There's a million things I can tell you about our products and our opportunity. But I want to focus on the things that are most important to you and your family when you're making a decision to work with a company, when you're making a decision to, have a part-time income, work a part-time career, business. I want to, what's most important to you? Ask those questions. And then whatever they say, we have a solution. We have an answer. But if we're just making assumptions on what is important to them, what's not important to them, right? We're going to go down the wrong path, and they might have been the perfect person, for our plans, for our business. And then I always love this one. This one made a lot of sense. And parents, we've talked to our kids about this, right? Do your best, do your best. And then we criticize ourselves like crazy, right? Oh, you didn't get up and make that run that you were supposed to do, or do the yoga, or do the meditation before your day got started. And so then we just start that negative self-talk, right? This is what he says, and it's so important. Your best is going to change from moment to moment, not even day to day, right? Hour to hour. He's saying from moment to moment. It will be different when you're healthy as opposed to sick, right? I know I've talked about being in the zone, not being in the zone, under different circumstances, certain environments we walk into, we feel a little different. He says, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, regret. So if we just have a philosophy, that it is just ingrained in us, this is something that has carried me through my life of just saying, yes, my best is going to be a little different on different days, but I just know my philosophy is I'm giving it my best when I'm showing up. I have some very close friends that, you guys, and a lot of times, Robert and other of my friends on the line will say, gosh, I've never seen you have a bad day. You just always bring that positive energy, because guess what? When I'm not in that space, you won't hear from me. I've never been one of those people that say, well, I've got, misery loves company and let me just share it. No, I always want to bring the best of me. And if I'm not, then I'm going to step back. And I've said this before, I think why I've been here 23 years and had the success I had because of consistency, because I work on my business every single day. But guess what? I'm not doing the same thing in my business every single day, because some days I'm not feeling it. My energy isn't there to get on a phone call. But guess what? My energy might be there to send an email. Because, right, we can send emails, maybe we're not feeling, as good as we want to feel, but I can send an email. Then there's times that I say, man, I'm not even feeling good enough. I don't think my energy, I don't want this to translate into even, written language. I'm just going to work on my business by listening to that training that I missed that's recorded. I'm going to go in the back office, or I'm going to go on one of the video trainings. I'm just going to listen to something that's going to help get me out of this. I'm going to read something. That's still working on our business, right? Or maybe I needed to do some research on a company, because I'm making some calls on my time blocks, on my call days. So I might say, you know what, let me just do that research now. That doesn't take a lot of energy. Maybe some days I want to send those personal notes, because I'm feeling okay, but I'm just not quite there to actually make the phone call. But I could not have that self-judgment, right? And regret, because I know I did something. I did my best. So anyway, guys, I know the time. I just hope that this just, opened your mind a little bit. Listen, this tag that I wear around my neck, this came from my coaching certificate that I got back in 2017. And we had to create our power statement. And they put it on this dog tag for us. And you know what mine says? I'm a powerful, confident, courageous leader. I'm a powerful, confident, courageous leader. And guys, there's some days that I'm not even feeling that, but I just have that power statement. Like, I know we talk about affirmations, and this is one that just resonates with me, because as he says, having courage, having that confidence, sometimes in my life when I haven't felt as powerful, I just have to remind myself, right, to have the courage, to be confident, to have that power. And the last thing I want to just leave you with, when it comes to going for no, keep a success journal, so that when we feel bad, when we get that no, the success journal is the yeses. The success journal can be as simple as the appointment that we got, the deal that we closed, the goal that we hit. Keep a success journal. It's okay to feel a little down when we get those no's, right? But we don't want to stay down for too long. Grab that success journal. I do it all the time. If I'm feeling like something didn't work, I remember back to when it did work, and it brings me back to that confidence and that courage to make the next call, to do the next step. So keep that success journal. It really helps a lot. So Robert, I know we're right there at the time. I'm going to turn it back over to you. I hope this helped someone, everyone, and just know that I'm always here to help more. You know, a lot of associates don't know that I did go through a 6-month, very intensive course with my own coach with 3 live events out in San Diego to actually, you know, to get an actual coaching degree and, you know, certificate. And, you know, the biggest thing is you have to dig deep in yourself, right? Because listen, coaches don't have the answers. It's a journey. We're all still trying to figure it out, but it uncovered a lot of things about myself. And you know, this book and these philosophies have really helped me, you know, overcome a lot of my own self-limiting beliefs. So I hope it can help you too.
No, absolutely. And I'm gonna see if we have any questions. If anybody has any questions, just raise your hand and we'll call on you. But some of the things that you said that resonated, I'm gonna also pull on Tilly's to see if Tilly's has any questions for you. But what you said about the coaching thing, about you going out there and doing the coaching, I tell people all the time, coaches have coaches, right?
Yeah.
Somebody actually called me a couple of weeks ago and asked me, did I have a coach? Like, they was like, well, are you a coach? Do you have a coach? I said, I've had a coach for the last couple of years, right? So I can't coach people and not have a coach, because who's pouring into me when I'm pouring into other people? So that's so important. Something else that you said that we talked about during the first Go for No course, we had an entire section of our course on this that I want you to mention again, because it's so vital therapeutically, is journaling. So I actually had a journaling section where we went over 7 different types of journals: fitness journal, success. We had a project journal, a goal journal, all these different journals that you can use. In that area of our training was about compare yourself to you, because around with social media nowadays, what happens is everybody's looking at somebody else and saying, how come I'm not making money that fast? Or how come I don't look that good? Or how come I don't whatever? And the problem is you're comparing apples to oranges. You don't know how that person started. So I learned a long time ago, you don't ever compare your everyday life to somebody else's highlight reels. So when you have a journal, you can always go back and look at, this is where I came from, right? This is where I was at last week, last year, last month. And you see the progress versus you're looking at somebody else and saying, okay, how come I'm not moving as fast as this person, when you have no idea how they got there? And it's not a fair assessment. So like, if you don't mind, like just kind of, because obviously when a person journal, that takes a lot of willpower. A lot of, like, when you journal, you've got to really see the value in doing it, or you won't consistently do it. So whenever I'm talking to somebody that does journaling, it's always like, if you can just express again the importance of journaling so that people really understand how powerful that is in your business and in your life.
Absolutely, Robert. And that's the thing, is we always think we're going to remember, right? One of the biggest regrets I have, and maybe other mothers feel this, is just not journaling enough during my pregnancy, right? And during the first few years, because you think you're going to remember, you know, the exact first words, right? The exact, you know, day and time of these big events. And that just reminded me, like, when Austin was born, like, wow, you know, we don't remember as much as we do. So luckily we can take pictures like crazy, right? And going back, and guys, I do this constantly. I pull my pictures. I know that it's difficult, but just even pictures can be that journal of where we were a year ago, what we were doing, how we looked, you know? And so I love those hardcover little books. I have an app, Photo Books, and you get a free book every month. You just have to pay for shipping, and you can just sit there very quickly on your phone and pull off the pictures and make a hardcover book that you can keep and give as gifts. You know, I started looking for a picture recently, and I had to go back so far, and I said, oh my gosh, I forgot about that day, that event. Right. So pictures, and the success journal is completely about when you make that appointment, right? We know, you know, those of you in Legal Shield, like getting on the blitz and the calls that we're making, and we're getting through a lot. And then we have that one success. The littlest things, I think that's the challenge we have sometimes. We think it's got to be so big, you know, to write it down. But like you said, having a couple different journals, listen, if we got to keep it simple, I will speak into my phone and have it write as a note. yes, there's, we all are waiting, and I've been this one, right? It's just waiting for the perfect thing, waiting. Well, I want to put it in the perfect journal with the perfect pen and do it in an exact way. And guess what? Done is better than perfect. That's something that my coach tells me all the time. Done is better than perfect. And there's a lot of negative self-talk when we don't at least get something done, and it drains our energy. So it doesn't have to be perfect, just get it done. And like I said, I love speaking notes into my phone, things that we're thinking about, but again, in business, so if we're talking about the success journal specifically in business, just write it all down. The person that said yes, remember, write down all the yeses, and hey, write down the no's, step 2, when we learned something, when we had an aha moment, when we said something a certain way and it worked better than anything has ever worked, write it down, because like Robert said, that self-reflection is so much better. I mean, oh my gosh, like you said, depression, people have just been going through this for years and years and years since social media, because we look at that other person, but we're seeing that snapshot. And then think about the people that are our closest friends and family that we really know the story. And so, we don't know everybody's story, but we know quite a few people's stories, and not judging them, but we're looking at a certain post or a certain picture, and we really know the backstory of what's going on, right? So just know that that's going on constantly with everything that we're seeing. So Robert, I love that. Don't, I'm not comparing with anybody. I just want to be better than I was yesterday.
Absolutely. No, that is totally phenomenal. And making sure that everybody understands that when somebody's having a bad day, when, during the Go for No course, we had Harold Branch come on, and he went over print in the first class for each group. And it was so interesting with the print, because I work with like the people that anybody that I coach, I have them get their print done. So that's enrolled in my course. So we get their print done, and then we do a print session where we spend 90 minutes going over their print. And that's part of what we talk about, their triggers, and understanding that when people are doing stuff, they're not doing it to you. They're doing it because that's their personality, right? They would have done it to anybody because they're doing what they do. And we have to stop taking what people do as running it through our filter and saying, hey, why did they do this to me? Or why are they not calling me back? Or why are they putting me off? And it's like, no, they may be putting everybody off because they may be dealing with something. And we know it because we see it 1,000 times, right? Especially in business where somebody doesn't get back with us, like you said. And then we find out later on that they were on vacation, they were sick, or they was whatever. And you're like, oh, and then you start feeling bad because you were kind of like, you were bad talking to them in your mind. Like, you done called them all kind of set up guns, right? Because they didn't get back with you on time or whatever. You thought that you may have said something wrong, or maybe they were just, putting you off for whatever reason. And really, it's just people going through what they're going through. And it's like, that is such a really big, simple, it's a big, simple summary. Like, like, keep it simple. I like those four things because it encompasses all of really how you can get through life doing things the right way with just those 4 principles, as opposed to complicating it. So definitely going to be a book that I'm going to be picking up and reading here in the future. Tilly's, where you at? Are you somewhere? You got any questions, Miss Tilly's? I got so many screens up, I can't keep track of what's going on. Nowhere. Okay, I don't see
Making it
it.
happen.
She may be doing something. She may be have her camera off. Anybody have any questions? You guys good?
Robert,
Go ahead.
I've been having trouble. My things have been going down. And is this recorded? Can I watch it? Because I was out for half of it. My system, my line was acting crazy.
Yeah. Just go to my YouTube channel. It's running live on my YouTube channel. So you can go there and like click it and it'll start over.
Okay, which channel is that?
Robert at Training by Dunbar. Just put in Robert Dunbar. When you go to YouTube, you'll
okay,
pull it up.
Thank you.
You can use my name or my company name. Either way, it'll pull up. Yeah, absolutely. And then I'll be eventually over the next few days, I'll be editing the video and putting, timestamps and all of that kind of stuff on it, so you can kind of see more detail what Kelly was talking about and all those kind of things too. But immediately it's unedited on YouTube, so you can kind of look at it there. Kelly, they're asking how to connect with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting text me. Everybody knows, like, a lot of people text me first. I'm a great texter. Tell me who you are. And yeah, we can definitely connect. As Robert said, my veterans organization, which I was very excited this morning, June 12th in 2018 was recognized as Women Veterans Day. And a lot of people don't know it, right? Because it was only a couple years ago, Women Veterans Day. So Nova Southeastern University is going to do a big event with 50 women veterans on that Saturday. And I was one of the first to get the invite and send it around so that I can send it through Transitioning Warrior and Mission United. And so it's so exciting when you can build a business, have the vehicle, and then be able to work on our passion projects, and realizing that being this coach and giving away coaching for free to veterans so that they can really find their purpose and passion and hopefully, have the courage to be an entrepreneur. It's just, it just doesn't get any better than that. And so keep going for it. Jimmy, I like when you said that, tending to be a perfectionist, talking about not taking things personal. Guys, what we have to remember is perfect is such a relative term. Like it's not even a term that we should be, because when one person says perfect, if Robert says something perfect, the perfect body, the perfect attitude, the perfect outfit. I mean, what does that really mean? That is so personal to every person that really, I kind of take that term perfect just really out of my vocabulary, really, because it's so relative to everybody. So realize when we're trying to be perfect, maybe just, again, Jimmy and all of us, just think going back to just doing our best, just saying it's not about being perfect, but it's about continually showing up, doing the best, being better than I was yesterday, and because perfection, again, our perfect isn't somebody else's perfect. And so we could have thought that we were doing 1,000,000% the right thing and our perfect isn't their perfect. So it didn't matter anyway.
Right.
So that's where, right? So that comes right back to not making assumptions. That I do see why he says with just that one, our life, would be better, right? Less stress and all that, because it is so easy to make assumptions. But just in that 1 second that we find ourselves making up a story about whatever's happening, just stop and have that courage to say, let me just ask you, because I'm not sure if I'm interpreting this the right way. And just have the courage to ask the question, for sure.
Excellent.
You guys are all
and I'm
so
gonna get you
welcome.
connected, Kelly, with Willie. I'm gonna get you connected with Willie Tolbert. He's on here too about the nonprofit thing.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. That's what he does. Definitely. So no, guys, great information.
Thank you
Appreciate
all so much.
all the comments, guys. You guys have been excellent. Kelly, Kelly will rock on. We can do this for another hour. Because I know, it's just one of those things, we both unscripted. So it's just about like talking from the heart. So no, that's great. Congratulations on Women's Veterans Day. Congratulations for the success for your warrior program. Just thanks for serving the country and for just being like a leader and a trainer and just a mentor to so many people in Legal Shield. And I'm sure you've helped some people who want. I know you got some people that I remember the story about the guy in Florida, but I was like a 6,000 person group, so I don't know, some crazy huge group that you helped the guy open up like years ago. Like just so many different.
That. Yeah, a little McMuffin.
Yeah, so,
we called it McMuffin because as we were traveling around, we called it our fun and money tour. All he ever wanted to eat was muffins. We'd go, we're going to McDonald's. What do you want? McMuffin. So we just started calling it McMuffin. But yeah, he was on Mr. Self's team. And yeah, he went from manager to platinum for 3 months in a row because we rode an 800-man,
Wow.
800 memberships that summer, and it was all around the country. It was like a military operation, I'll tell you what, because they were in the service industry. So we were doing presentations at 6 a.m., 3 p.m., and midnight, almost all around the country, and it was pretty amazing. But yeah, and again, it was warm, and I always say, he had the courage because here he's 20-something years old, working at a pizza place, washing cars at BMW. His dad was this huge executive of this company in the past, had actually left the company as an inside employee and was a consultant. So he comes to his first ever, right, employee benefit certification training. And he says, okay, and he goes to his dad and says, Dad, you gotta let me in. And what do you think his dad said? Big goose egg, big no. Talk about that's true, Robert. His story.
Wow.
You know that we always say he poked his dad for 2 years before his dad. And finally, it was at an event that he dragged his dad to, one of the big ones at the Shingle Creek. And I got to meet his dad. So his dad finally understood it wasn't his little 20-year-old son that was going to be representing. And he made a 30-second call to the HR director and we got in. Their corporate offices were in Miami just because of how warm it was.
Who was
And-
the AE? Who was the young guy?
I know. It's so funny because it's Antonio. It's oh my gosh, he's gonna be so mad that I forgot his name. I honestly I think of him as
That's okay.
McMuffin.
I know he was on John Bell Combs' team, wasn't he?
Yes, he was on John Balcone's
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jimmy, tell you about him. But yeah, thanks for bringing that. That just there was so that story in itself. There's just so many training points, right? But and you know, it was really funny. It was we had our very first enrollment. We all had to fly out, and he had a family event in Puerto Rico that he wasn't even there. So we were totally working on his behalf, right? He got 50% of everything. But that's how this business works. And
Sure.
but I always say, his experience as John Balcon. I mean, John did a lot of groups, but this challenged me. Again, it was a lot of logistics and a lot of and a lot of planning. And so, it was just one of the things, and it felt really great. Darnell called me personally and thanked me, for that. And again, that's just what it's all about, right? We're on Team Legal Shield, team Mr. Stone Cipher, right?
That's right.
Thank
that's
you
right.
for reminding me of that. You see, it puts a big smile on my face. I mean, that was incredible. Because look, what do you do between 3 and midnight? So we paddle boarded on Lake Tahoe, right? That's why we called it the Fun and Money Tour, because we said, well, we're here. We were in New Orleans. So we would just do something and have fun. And we said, okay, and then sleep if we needed to, and get everything ready, and be ready to do that. But it just always reminded me that that's the great thing about Legal Shield, right? Is that we can work hard, really work hard, show up, but play hard too, and enjoy life. I guess when we say play hard, I just always picture that lifestyle of being able to enjoy, ourselves, whatever that looks like for us, right?
Well, good stuff. Well, we know you wrote yourself to 6 figures a year, so you obviously know and Millionaire Club member. I mean, all of those different things. And you've been a 6-figure ring earner, man, for I don't know. I think you were a 6-figure ring earner when I joined the company. So you've been earning 6 figures for 15 years or more in Legal Shield. So that's a big deal in a Millionaire Club member. So just again, thanks again for everything.
Thank you.
Guys, we're going to go ahead and get signed off here. I appreciate you guys sticking with us for longer than 9:30.
Fantastic.
And Kelly, I
Thank
thank
you.
you. Absolutely. So if everybody can give
Nice to meet you,
Miss
Connie.
Kelly a goodbye, we appreciate you. We
Bye,
thank you so
everybody.
much.
Bye,
so
thank
much.
you.
Hey,
Love
guys.
seeing you.
All right. Thank you,
Have a
Kelly.
good-
Thank
Well,
you.
thank
Awesome
you.
training.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate
go for
you.
no,
Love you.
everybody.
Thanks,
Have
Karina.
a good
Bye-bye.
night.
Right.
Bye.
Next time, everybody put their cameras on.
Bye.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
You're right.
And you might be asking for something you don't want.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You might be able to scare all the mice away.
I've been
don't
in
wanna
a number
see.
of these, Robert, I've been in a number of these where the leader insists, it's like pretty much you have to have your camera on because the speaker is speaking to us and all she sees is his name. She
Look,
doesn't see
Hey,
faces,
these little
reactions.
silhouettes of people.
Get your green screens.
Have a
That's
good
right,
night,
that's right.
everybody.
You guys have a fantastic
You all be
evening.
blessed.
Thanks again,
So
Kelly.
much. There you go. There's
Thank
Flora.
you.
Hi, Flora. Sue.
Hi. Thank
Rico.
you. Good
Who
night.
else? Sue, yes.
Y'all have a blessed evening. Be safe tomorrow.
Hey, Jim, yes. Have a great Thursday.
Hey, thank you so much.
Really, it really
Yes.
is the Willie Tolbert.
Yes.
I'm so used to seeing him in his office. Hey, let me tell you something, brother. You must sleep in a bow tie. Hey, I don't think I ever seen you without a bow tie on. It don't matter what's going on. He got his bow tie on. That brother don't be playing.
Thank you. I appreciate that,
Oh
sir.
my goodness. It's 9:51 here in the car drive. He still got that bow tie on. Good stuff. Hey man, you gotta how you look is important. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
personal is important.
Yeah. All
Good
right,
stuff,
y'all. Have
man.
a good evening now.
All right, you as well, brother.